So apparently trying to run tutorial series with a cold is not a good idea. What's up guys, Lenelek here, and this is going to be a quick tutorial series in regards to Django and Python and getting you guys started in making your own apps. The basics of these tutorials are going to be focused on coding little libraries basically for basic apps such as blogs, polls, that kind of thing. And we're going to do it to a timer as well, so we can show you how fast you can actually get up and running with an app, basically. So this is Django. This is djangoproject.com. If you go and have a look, you've got all the documentation that you need to actually get started. You'll see it's quite an extensive documentation as well. It also goes over the installation here, and you've got all sorts of goodies in this documentation that's going to help you get started with Django. And what we're going to do basically is a quick installation. Now I've got everything I need installed already, so it's not actually going to install here, but basically we're going to install using pip. There's a couple of other libraries that I like as well. Those are the three that we're going to use in this tutorial. Now, the only one that's actually required is Django. You don't need Django extensions. You don't need, spell that wrong, workzug. Now, this is in a virtual environment with Python already installed. This is beyond the scope of this tutorial for installing Python. If you are using a PC, there are plenty of tutorials out there to actually get you started with Python. And if you're on a Mac, luckily OS X actually comes with Python pre-installed, so you're all right there. So basically, you run pip install Django extensions and workzug. As you can see, mine's come up saying that it's already installed. Yours will be a bit different to that. It'll start installing everything. Okay, so once you've installed Django, we'll go to Django admin, start project. We're going to call it www. And I put the dot there because that basically puts it straight into the folder that we're already in. As you can see, I've already got a templates set up in here, which we'll show you later on. It's just basic bootstrap template. As you notice, it's made a manage.py and also a subfolder called www. Should we have a look in there? In fact, it's probably easier for me to bring up the... You've got an init file, a settings file, URLs, and a WSGI. We're not going to be using the WSGI files today, but if you go into settings, there are a couple of things that we need to set up quickly. As you can see, the database is using SQLite 3, but we want to come in here, just take a copy of that and paste it into the DIRs section and change where it says DB SQLite 3, change that to templates. That basically gives us a path to our templates folder. Also in here, we want to, in the installed apps, I'm going to put Django extensions in there because we want it to know that we're looking for Django extensions. And if we come back over to the PowerShell, drop back out to www actually. So we've got the manage.py file there. We can run server plus because we've got Django extensions in the installed apps. And if we go to our local server, as you can see, that was how quick it was to actually get the base app set up. And we're now working directly in in Python. So first things first, now we can just stop the server there with a Control C or Command C. And what we want to do in here, we want to actually add the blog app. So if we cd into www and type python /manage.py, which basically gives us back to our manage.py, start app, and we're going to call it blog. As you can see, that's made us a blog folder with admin, models, tests and views, and also migrations, which is blank at the moment. So we're going to start the timer now and see how long it actually takes us to get this all set up and running. Okay, so we're in the blog app now, so we can go into here. And we're going to start off with creating the models. We're also going to use the user model, which is already built into Django. So from django.contrib.auth.models import user. That gives us access to the user model. And we're going to start defining our article. Now, notice how we don't call it articles. We call it article because there are going to be many articles. This is just one instance of an article. We're going to define it as a model, and we need a couple of things for an article. So author, title, slug, body, and created. So a foreign key is a relationship between one table and another. I'm going to say that's the user. Title will be a character field with a max length equals 255 characters. That'll be enough. Slug models.slug field, which will sort all later. Models.text field, models.date time field, actually this is just an auto now, will be fine. Okay, so just to run over what these are. Character field is basically just a simple text string or character string. And we say that there are no more than 255 characters in there. A slug is a newspaper term, which basically is for shortening a title. It's what's used in URLs mainly. Body's self-explanatory. That's the actual content for the article, and then a time that it was created. So we're also going to give it a definition of Unicode, so it can access itself, and we're going to return self.title, which basically, if you're looking at this or you access an instance of this model, it'll come back and return them as, we'll just basically say the title, which makes it a lot easier to work with. So we're done in the models. What we want to do now is set up models. We're going to do make migrations in the manage. Okay, so we haven't actually put it in the settings file. So we need to go into the installed apps and do www.blog, which tells Python and Django to look in that module for modules. And there you go. It's created a file in the migrations section now. which we can have a look, but basically tells the SQL basically to make there for the actual model. Now a migration is great because if you make any changes to this file, Django will actually tell the database how to actually make the changes in the database without you actually having to go in and lose any data, which is absolutely fantastic. So if we go back to the admin, I'm just going to take a quick look at another app that I've got. So this is the good thing about Django, is you can reuse code, which is fantastic. Now so this is going to allow us to access the article from the admin site, which we're going to set up in a moment. And I want to do a pre-populate field. Rather than just having pass in here, I have pre-populated fields. So whenever you type in the title field, it'll create the slug for us. So that's the admin file sorted. Don't need the model anymore, so don't need that either. So let's actually, before we get started on the views, let's install all of the models into the database, which is done by the migrate command in manage.py. We're going to create a super user as well. So now if we go back to our Django site, and run that window, and go to admin, and you can see the articles is already there. We'll add an article. You can see it's already made the slug with a hyphen in it. Save that. Okay, if we go back into our views now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a list view. So from Django.views.generic.list import list view. Article list view. This is a list view. And we're going to define the model as article. So what we need to do as well is from from .models import article. So basically it says in this module, look for the models folder, models file, and then import article from there. Okay, so this is now basically going to be looking in the templates folder in blog and article list. I've basically set up a quick article. So what we need to do is we have access to this. Basically, it's a full HTML type file. It's just got a couple of Django templating language in here. So it's basically for article in object list. So object list is what's passed back from here when it's accessed. It was basically gives us a dictionary of objects, which is the object list. So for article in object list, we have then accessed the title, when it was created, and then the body. I'm gonna okay. So next thing that we need to do is just set the URL pattern for this. But we're going to use the index. I'm not going to include anything. I'm going to point this to the article list view. Give it a name of list article, list articles even, and then from so from this module, no, that's actually not right. From www blog, import views, and that restarts our. And there you go. So let's pause the timer there. That took us 11 minutes and 10 seconds to basically create a blog. Now, that is just listing the views. On the next tutorial, we'll go into a little bit more detail of actually how to create the detail pages, etc., etc. Now, just to prove that this actually works, we'll add another article. Let's save that and go back to the index page. As you can see, it's got another. Now, most blog articles you would want to go in reverse order, because obviously this one's later than this one. What we want to do, if we come back into the blog and into the models, we can create a meta class, ordering by created. If you put a minus, that actually does it a descending order. And refresh the page. Just wait for the server to restart itself. As you see, that's now changed the ordering to chronological reverse. That's it for this section of the tutorial. We will start with the next tutorial with finishing the blog app off. This is probably one of the biggest ones to do, and I wanted to obviously try and get it done in as little time as possible, so we'll separate it over the second one. So catch you in the next episode. What's up, guys? Get stuck in with the next tutorial. The next tutorial is also ready. If you click down in the annotation on this screen, you'll be taken directly to the next stage of this tutorial, and you'll be able to finish the basic blogging app that you'll be able to plug into later tutorials.